everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Have you ever seen a Seeburg record machine? Or perhaps have you ever seen a Seeburg record? It's a very interesting story and one that you may not be aware of. You're definitely going to enjoy this show, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Record-ology.
Okay guys, so the Seeburg company was formed in the mid-1940s and went out of business in 1980. And they made jukeboxes, all kinds of machines and records, and interestingly enough, the recordings themselves to play music in public spaces. Seeburg really specialized in music for restaurants and stores as well. And my good friend Tech Moan has done an amazing video about the Seeburg machines and the technology and some of the very interesting record formats, including ones that were clamped and had a very unique spindle. However, this format was called the Rec-O-Dance record format, and this is part of the Stereo Discotheque series. And these were identifiable by their blue color. This was music that was designed for adults and some teenagers, but mostly adults. And they were like popular titles. Now I'm going to zoom in here on the label. It's very interesting. So as you can see, it shows 3 track titles, 1, 2, and 3. They also had a series of teen music that had a different label. This music was actually specially recorded for these records. So these are not the popular recordings. These are popular titles that are re-recorded by Seeburg musicians in special Seeburg recording sessions. As you can see, it says for lease only, Seeburg Music Publishing Company. So this is basically like Muzak, songs you might identify, but not the recordings that you're familiar with. Now this actual record, as you can see, 1964, I actually wrote that on there after I researched it, but this particular record is a 7-inch record. It is 33 1/3, which I'm excited to see because that means we'll be able to play it. Some Seeburg records were actually odd speeds like 16 RPM and things that I cannot play, but this was a 33. So this would have been played vertically in a jukebox, and I've got some images on the screen so you can see what they look like. And basically you'd go pop in your money and you could listen to these songs. 3 songs per side. As you can see, it's interesting. There is no track delineation that I can tell. Maybe that's track delineation between the tracks. It kind of looks like it all runs together. I am not 100% sure if these machines had the ability for you to play individual songs or if you had to play an entire side. But when you would order these records, and as you can see, they were lease only, you didn't own them, but when you would order these as a restaurateur or a business owner, it would also include the little title slides that we reviewed in the past to let people know which song was available. So let's go ahead and play this and give it a listen. Okay, so this is a 7-inch record, so you can play it on any standard record player. This plays at 33 1/3 RPM. So we are going to go ahead and drop the needle. I didn't even clean this thing, so it's probably pretty dirty. But let's give a listen to a Seeburg Rec-O-Dance Discotheque series stereo recording. Again, this is music that was specially recorded for this purpose. These are not the popular recordings. So the sound quality is very dynamic. These are in pretty good condition, which is interesting considering they were used with very heavy automatic jukebox mechanisms and were played vertically and were clamped into place. They were not handled as gently as a record collector would handle their records. But this one's in remarkably good condition. Again, 1964. It would have been used on probably one of the 1961 Seeburg units. That's a pretty likely assumption, but let's skip forward here and listen to a little bit more.
Well, you met someone, you set you back on your heels. Goody, goody. Well, you met someone, now you know how
Interesting, so there are vocals. That was kind of a surprise. Now, one thing I've read in researching this show is that the musicians were pooled from a group of people that were hired specifically to record these, but they took a lot of pride in reproducing quality music. I know that many of you are probably aware of the Drew's famous party music CDs that you get at like Party America and stuff, and that's kind of a mixed bag. You know, it's kind of the same idea. You know, they're covers of famous songs with mixed results. But my understanding is that the Seeburg recordings and the musicians that took part in those took a lot of pride in the music that they made. And it does show, because these arrangements, just listening to them, don't appear to be note for note copies of the popular versions, but just alternate versions, and that was probably done for legal reasons. But it seems to be very high quality. Again, this is adult market music, primarily. Just be sitting there in the restaurant, and this is playing in the speakers overhead. Okay, so I'm very interested if the songs have a break in between each song, or if they just run from one end to the other. So I've queued it up right at the end of one song and right at the beginning of another. So let's give it a listen and see what happens. Very interesting. So they run from one directly into the other. There's not even a beat in between. It's literally the end of one, the beginning of another. I'd have to do more research to learn exactly why that is. If you know, give me a comment down below. Educate me more about these. I'd be fascinated to learn more. But yeah, it's a really cool format. It served a very specific purpose. This was not a home format, but very interesting and really neat history. All right, guys, that's it for today. Don't forget to check out our merchandise store at cafepress.com/Record-ology. I'll put a link in the description where you can get all kinds of cool Record-ology merch. But that's all for now. So happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching Record-ology. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss a single thing.
I am the Edison phonograph. The more you become acquainted with me, the better you will like me. Ask the dealer.